Hey everybody, it's Dominic from the Primetime Treasure eBay store and YouTube channel. Thanks for coming back to another video. This is one that I'm going to do with you for another shipping tip. Now what you see here is a book that I sold last night. It's a Rafi songbook. This one picked up for 50 cents at a book sale and sold it for $25 last night. I have it nice and protected. I've got it in the bubble wrap. I've got it surrounded by two thick pieces of cardboard that are taped around the edges to prevent any damage happening to the sides during shipping. And for that reason, I also have a little bit of an overlap on the sides to also prevent the sides of the book from getting damaged. Now, the only thing that I don't have done at this point is I don't have the outer shell around the book in terms of what I'm actually gonna, use to stick the mailing label on. Now, I could, of course, put this into a box, but you'd actually need a pretty large box to fit this in because this is pretty wide, and then you'd have to trim the box down with a box cutter if you want to cut down on some of the bulk and all the kind of packaging that you'd have to put inside to protect it, like air pillows and that type of stuff. So want to avoid that as much as possible. I ship out a lot of books, and the method that I'm going to use is very successful at preventing any damage happening to the book during shipping. So as long as you protect it like this, you've got the bubble wrap around it, you've got the two hard pieces of cardboard, and you've taped it around. Tape one piece here, one piece here, one piece here on all sides, so 3 pieces per side. You should be fine, but we've got to find something to put this in. Now, this is wide. It's wider than your average size book, and that's the point of this video, is what to do when it's too wide and it will not fit in an envelope. So this would be your standard 9x12 size clasp envelope, and as you can see, there's no way this is going to fit inside of it. It is just too small. So then we can move up to the 10x13 sized clasp envelope, but even that is not going to be sufficient. As you can see, it's just not going to fit in there. So we could move up even beyond that. Many of you may be unfamiliar that there is an 11.5 by 14.25 or 14.5 size envelope. I use this to send out a lot of my treasury size comic books, and while it technically is wide enough to fit this, the problem is that when you account for the thickness of the book, it's not going to fit in there. You see here, it's just not going to fit in because, as you can see, the thickness, when you account for that, it's not going to let it go into this small opening here for the envelope. So that leads to the next option, which are polymailers. Now, many of you are familiar with the traditional 9x12 size polymailer here, but that obviously is going to be too small. So that's not going to work. However, the option that has saved me so many times in this situation is the large oversized polymailer. Now, I don't have the dimensions for it off the top of my head right now, but I will put a link to it down below in the description section. It is pretty big, and you could just trim it to size. So let me just tilt the camera down, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this poly bag mailer. So I'm going to take this, going to put it right in here like that, just wedge it right into the corner. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna fold this part up like that. So now I've got everything right here. I'm gonna see where it is that it ends, and then I'm just gonna trim it. So just gonna trim it down like this. And I'll just save this. I could use this put it on the side. I could use it for, for packing material one day. So now I've got this here, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to tape my edges, tape the sides down. Make sure it's wedged into that corner good, so you can just pinch the edges, make sure it goes down well. I'll just tape this side right here, tape that side right there. and that one there. So that's shut. I'll do this one here. This one here. That one there. And now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to tuck this in like this. And then I'm just going to bring this flap over like that. And just tape down the edges. That's it. Simple. Tape down that edge. Tape down that edge. Now I'll just tape down this part right here. Like to get those little areas, those overhangers. Tape those down. I'll do that on the other side as well. Just keeps everything nice and snug. And any kind of loose pieces that like that kind of overhang, I get those down. And then the only other thing to do is just to take your tape gun and basically what I want to do is just tape this part right here. Just make sure that's taped down so it doesn't open up. This is why I like the tape gun. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I might just put one right here just to completely seal it. And that's it. I am set. So this is how you could just create a custom-based envelope if the ones that you have are not sufficient to fit the book inside of it. Very easy. Don't have to use a box. If you think about it, the way I basically set this up is I made the box internal. So it is kind of in a box, it's just inside the actual envelope. And that's what keeps these books protected and my customers happy. Check my feedback, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. If you like this video, if you like the tips, make sure you hit the like button down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate that. If you have a comment or question, make sure you put that down below as well. Also, make sure if you would like additional reselling tips that you come to my Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center. The link to that is down below as well, along with the shipping supplies that I use here and other shipping supplies that I use to help me in my business at Primetime Treasure headquarters. So if you'd like to see or use any of those links, you'll see a big listing of them down below in the description section. And if you click on any of those and purchase any of those items that are through those links, that does help support the channel because they are affiliate links. So actually anything you purchase through those links on Amazon would help me out. So I would appreciate that, and I will see you all at the next video. Thanks, everybody.